Okay, guys, the Springbok team to take on the All Blacks has been announced on Monday. Surprise! I wasn't sure about it. I didn't know about it, but I guess it's on Monday because we're playing on a Friday. Quite an interesting team. I think some of the predictions that I did didn't come true. So let's see, man. Let's talk about it and see. Try and figure out what are we looking at and what the coaches are trying to achieve with that. So the first surprise that I'm surprised with, I'm surprised with, is the Mostert call. All right, I really thought Marvin Ori was gonna be playing this weekend, but they went with Mostert. And Mostert, when he came on last week, man, he had a cracker of a game. And I think, with Lut out, they're trying to figure out who's gonna fit in that number 5. And I think I've been complaining all the time, man, that Mostert hasn't been hitting the heights. So it was really, really, heartfelt and enjoyable to see him, play as well as he did against Wales. So yeah, let's see how he goes. Because 5 is his original position. He is originally a lock, and he plays, moonlights as a flanker. So let's see how that goes. So I'm really surprised about that. I'm also really surprised. I would have thought that Sia was going to be on the bench and come in the second half just to protect him and maybe give him the second half where the game is a little bit more faster and see how he copes with that, instead of, playing him from the beginning with the arm wrestle. So yeah, they started him again, second game in a row. And I saw in the press conference, Jacques talking about that they want to give him like 50, 60 minutes. Last game he got 40 minutes, so they building him up. Funny enough, it was similar to what happened in the last World Cup. Sia came into the World Cup coming from an injury, and they also had to build up his minutes from there. So that was also a surprise. De Klerk, I was expecting that he was going to come through, before we go on, I think the scrum, I think the forward pack, I think that's the pack that is actually going to be the first team starting pack. I think it looks strong. The back row, you've got Dwayne, you've got Sia, you've got Peter Steff, which is, our first choice, Lucy's, if everything is going well and everybody's available. The locks, Lut is not available, so they're going with Mostert. And the front row, in terms of, I think that was the first front row with Marks there as well. So I think last week was more about the back line, trying to sort out the back line. And I think they're quite happy with what they saw on the back line. But this week is about seeing if they can get that cohesiveness within the pack. So we have to see. And funny enough, within the pack, there's not a lot of new people from that 2019, luckily, the way the games are spaced out, it's not like Ireland where they have to play, South Africa and Scotland, consecutive weekends. We've got Scotland, then we've got sort of like an easier game, and then we've got another big game, then it's sort of, so I think that allows them to actually go full blown, with the first team in those high profile games, if you want to call it that. So yeah, I think this week is about the pack. But let's have a look at the weekend, the backline, man. Surprise, the big one, the attention grabber, the headline grabber is that Canan Moodie is going to be at 13. He used to play there in his junior ranks, high school. He hasn't really played there for the Bulls. He's usually playing at 15 and wing most of the time. So let's see how it goes, man. If you can, get up to speed with the international. And that 13 role is very, very important in both attack and defense. In terms of attack, right, once the 12 takes it up, the 13 sometimes can become the first receiver, or on the other side, or alternatively the second receiver, where he has to now make the play for the wingers and as well as the fullback. So let's see how it goes, man. He's pretty sound, just like Sia, he did a track back where he had to tackle the guy, so speed enough to recover if he gets beaten. So yeah, let's see how he goes. He's playing with Esterhuizen. I wasn't sure that they were gonna play Esterhuizen. I would have thought they would play Dialende, just to see if something happens to Jesse. Of course, Dialende is the first choice at 12. So something happens to Jesse, is Canan able to play with Dialende in the centers? So let's see. But I guess the Springbok system is just everybody's got their role, and you are expected to execute your role to the best. So maybe they believe they can swap out a player and put in another player, and the combination and known factors should be there. They should be able to understand each other if they just play their roles. I was surprised with Willemse at the back, but maybe it's time to actually give him a run out, from the beginning at number 15, because we don't know. We can't be playing Vili, at full steam every game. There's a lot that he has to do with game management, at defense and attack, really. So there's a lot of pressure on him, and we can't firstly risk the injury, and secondly, just play him get him tired. We still need the mental and the physical to be fresh. So it's a good goal. Magazole, I think they're just keeping him within, with the feel of the game, giving him time on the field. So that's not a biggie. I don't think he's going to make the first team for the Scottish game. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be Canan, as well as the short guy. I always forget this guy. I don't know, man. So those are the things that, those were surprises. It's an exciting backline, but let's see if they can pull it through, man. Sometimes exciting players, like if you follow football, the Galacticos, they didn't really achieve much. Everyone was a star player. So let's see if this team can gel as quickly as possible and actually give, New Zealand a game, and run for their money. On the bench, one surprise is that Van Staden is there, and he's ahead of Kwagga. I'm not sure because I thought Kwagga gives us so much versatility, from 6, 7 and 8 he covers those positions, and when he comes in he almost every time has an impact. He's very he's integral part of the bomb squad, so I don't know, maybe they just again saving him. They know what they have with him. I wouldn't be surprised when the tournament starts against Scotland that Kwagga is there, because I just think that as much as Marco is good, I think he's there this weekend to give Sia, take over from Sia when Sia goes out, sort of like a like for like, player. And so we'll see with that. In terms of talk about that, so who's gonna play 8 man? Because I don't think Vermeulen can actually play the full 80 as well. I don't think they want to do that, and I don't think they will do that. So we'll have to see during the game, and it's interesting. Jean Klein is on the bench again. My man Marvin Ory is not around, so has he gone beyond Marvin in the pecking order for the Locks? Yeah, he had a decent game, but I'm not sure. I think Marvin has played better than him. Sorry, yeah, he's played better than him. But I think that all combination from the coaches knowing him from the Stormers to Munster and now the Springboks, maybe they can trust him better. But we'll have to see how it goes, because now we've got two locks on the bench, and I think we'll have to see. Alge is also on the bench as well, so we have to see about that. And one happy person here is Trevor. All right, Trevor, is he gonna be in the 23 to start the Scottish game? Okay, has he left it too late to actually prove he can do it? yeah, we have to see. But I'm happy that Trevor's there. And it looks like the front row them is an all-black front row playing against the All Blacks. So this is going to be interesting because we've got Oxenche and Bongi Bonambi as replacements as well. So we're going to see an all-black Springbok front row. What am I expecting from this game? Is this game, I don't know what you guys think. Do South Africa have to win this game? Or do they have to play better than what they did against New Zealand in New Zealand and they'll be good enough? I would have wanted to win the game. Honestly, I would have wanted to win the game. That confidence of beating New Zealand before the tournament starts will be massive. But with the backline that is sort of like experimental, I'm not really sure we can be able to do it. I'll support the boys, of course. I'm shouting at this TV screen, but we have to see, man. And yeah, we have to see how Canan goes. I don't think he's gonna be first choice at 13. I just think they're looking at him to see if he can fit in there should they need him. So what do you guys think, man? Do the Springboks have to win this game against the All Blacks? Or is just ticking off the boxes and playing better than what they did against the All Blacks during their Rugby Championship? Cheers.